Hello everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live. My name is Rachel. I am an environmental educator at Sea Turtle Inc. Sea Turtle Inc. is a nonprofit organization and Sea Turtle Hospital in South Padre Island, Texas. Today we're going to be doing a veggie feeding. We're going to be feeding some of our patients. As usual, let me know where you're tuning in from. We've had a lot of visitors come into the facility and say they watch these Facebook Lives, which is super cool. But I'd also love to know wherever you're tuning in from, anywhere in the world. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you some of our patients. If you have any questions, please put them into the comments below. So in this tank, we have Shrek and Donkey. Shrek and Donkey are our newest patients. They stranded about a month ago now, a little less than the month, in early June. And they're going to be getting some cucumber as well as some zucchini today. Shrek and Donkey were entangled. They had fishing line entangled around their neck and flippers, and then their fishing line was entangled around each other. I'll quickly pan to this photo, which is from their stranding date, and you can see they washed up together, which is kind of unique. So I'm gonna put some more veggies in here. So this is only part of their diet. They actually get seafood in the morning as well. So they get squid, shrimp, and mackerel. And then this is their afternoon snack, which is some veggies. Out in the wild, Atlantic green sea turtles, which these two are Atlantic greens, eat a variety of food. They're mostly herbivorous, so they're eating things like seagrass and algae. But they will also eat other things like jellyfish. And here we feed them a variety of seafood. Awesome. Thank you all for tuning in so much. I see a lot of you tuning in from a bunch of different places. My parents are watching. Hi, Lauren. Got someone from Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, Louisiana, New York, some Texans. Awesome. Thank y'all so much. So there's a current in this tank, so it kind of takes them around as well as some of the veggies, so they're there in the back of the tank. So I'll put some over here. Now the current's important as it gives them something to swim against. So if a patient comes in entangled, just like these two, it's really important that we have that current in the tank so they can use those flippers and build up those flipper muscles. Here's Donkey. People tuning in from Kansas, Colorado, Delaware. Awesome. Amy said she got to see Donkey last week and it was her daughter's favorite turtle. That's awesome. Here's Shrek. Something unique about these two is that they actually have fibropapillomatosis. Fibropapillomatosis is a disease that affects sea turtles. It is a herpes virus that causes tumors to grow. So you can see there are actually tumors growing on both of them, and that is one reason they're actually in the tank together. And you'll see this tank has some red paint, as well as all of the equipment we use in this tank has this red tape. That's to designate it an SP tank. We are still learning a lot about this virus, but we don't want to spread it around here in the hospital, so we do everything we can to keep these guys separate from the other patients that we have. They're the only two patients in the hospital who have FP. And actually, our vet, Dr. Tom, from the Gladys Porter Zoo, is coming in tomorrow to perform surgery on these two. So Donkey and Shrek will be receiving tumor removal surgery tomorrow. So best of luck to both of them. They're going to go under anesthesia, and they use a surgical laser to remove those tumors. Dora asked how we named them. So whoever finds the turtle gets to name it. So if you're visiting or live on South Padre Island or Boca Chica Beach, we actually let you name the patient if you find it. So if you see a sea turtle stranding out on the beach and you call us, and we'll let you name it. These two were actually found by one of our ATV patrollers while looking for nesting mamas. And then they brought them back here to the hospital, and we were just trying to think of names that would be fun for these two since they washed up together. And I thought Donkey and Shrek were a pretty unique name combination, so we decided to go with Donkey and Shrek. Holding where are we out of? We are in South Padre Island, Texas. All right, so I'm going to take you to another tank over here to show you some more of our patients. I apologize for my appearance. I've had a full day of work today, so it's hot in Texas. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I'm still getting used to this heat. And in here we have 3 patients. We have Clover, who is right there. We have Oscar the Grouch and Shelly back there. So let's throw some veggies in this tank. Here they come. So here comes Shelly and Oscar the Grouch. I'll try to throw some over here so you guys can see a little bit better. So these 3 were all entangled. 2 of them were found out in the bay, and one washed up north of here near Mansfield Cut. That was Shelly. She washed up with a hook in her front left flipper that had some fishing line and oysters attached to it. So she had a little over 1 pound of oysters attached to that hook and fishing line. The other 2 had fishing line as well as some other debris entangled around them. Here they come. So you can see all these patients are eating pretty well. Most of our patients have been here a little while, so they get accommodated and they start eating regularly, which is great because we want their energy levels to increase and for them to have the proper nutrients to heal properly. If y'all have been watching for a while, you'll remember Clover because I showed you this over here, which this is a model of a sea turtle, so it's not a real sea turtle, but it's similar in size to Clover. This is what Clover was entangled in. So Clover had these metal rings, all of this rope, and this buoy attached to him, and that was entangled around his neck and front flippers. So the fisherman who found him floating out in the bay knew to bring him back here to the hospital, and he brought all this with him, so we have it on display so people can see it truly is anything that they can get entangled in. Now, a lot of people see this and, you know, kind of breaks your heart a little bit, but you'll see that Clover is in this tank and he's swimming super well. He's very active, and Clover should be ready for release in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, I know we show some sad things on here, some really tough things to see, some tough injuries and effects of humans, of course, on these wonderful animals. But places like Sea Turtle Inc. are so special because we give animals like Clover a second chance, right? So Clover is now going to return to the wild, fully healed, and we're super excited about that. This is Oscar the Grouch. There goes Oscar. And over here we have Shelly and Clover. So Clover is the one in the back that is almost ready for release. Our vet's also going to look at Shelly's front left flipper when he comes tomorrow. As you can see, she's kind of tucking it. She's not using it a lot. She's probably in pain, you know, from that entanglement and hook. So we will see what happens with Shelly's flipper. We will keep you all updated. Tally asked if we guys take a rescue from Louisiana. So kind of our domain here is South Padre Island as well as Boca Chica Beach and areas of Port Isabel. So that's where we take patients in from. See Oscar swimming really fast around the tank here. Here comes Shelly. Are we able to track them after we release them to see how they're doing? So very few patients in general at sea turtle hospitals get satellite tags, which are the ones that allow us to track them, only because they're very bulky and very expensive. So it's kind of reserved for very large patients, and most of our patients are pretty small. So these guys are all around 10 pounds or so, but we will give them a pit tag, and that tag is about the size of a grain of rice, goes into their front left flipper, and it's a special ID. So if they were ever to wash up somewhere else or even nest somewhere else, it's a global system and we can communicate with other conservation programs as well as sea turtle hospitals to ID them. So we have a scanner, and part of our protocol for intake is to scan them and look for tags, and if it reads a number, we will look in our system. If they're not a part of our system, we will reach out to other hospitals. What kind of sea turtle is Oscar? These three are all Atlantic green sea turtles. So all of our current patients are Atlantic green sea turtles. We mostly get Atlantic greens here in our hospital because of our bay. The Laguna Madre is huge and it happens to be very shallow, and this is important as sunlight can actually reach the bottom, causes a ton of seagrass to grow. It's also relatively safe from predators. So these guys, these juvenile Atlantic greens, actually come to our area to feed and grow, and that's why we mostly get greens. There are 5 species of sea turtle we find in the Gulf of Mexico, however. So we do get other species from time to time, but we mostly get greens. There they go. All right, well, it looks like they finished up most of their snack. We actually only have a few patients right now. We have 7 patients, which is a little less than normal, but that's awesome, right? Because we don't want to have a ton of patients. So I'll conclude this Facebook Live for now. I'll do another Facebook Live pretty soon, either a feeding or a hatchling release, so please stay tuned. As usual, if you have any questions, type them into the comments below and I'll get to them a little bit later. Thank you all so much for your continued support. We truly appreciate it. I hope you and your loved ones are safe, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.